Hi, my name is Adam Whitmer. I'm the founder and host of ComplianceCohort.com. This compliance clip is going to talk about Regulation B government monitoring information for a refinance. So if your financial institution is no longer a HMDA reporter, or maybe has never been, and you are subject only to the government monitoring information collection requirements of Regulation B, you'll want to pay attention to this video. This is a question I've had several times over the last decade or two, but it's something that's come up quite a bit lately now that there are more banks that are no longer HMDA reporters and subject only to Regulation B. What the question is this. It says, we are no longer a HMDA reporter and collect GMI only under Regulation B. Do we collect GMI on a refinance of a loan that did not originally have purchase money? So what they're talking about here is an original loan that was an equity loan, a cash out loan. It was not a purchase, it was not a refinance, but it was an equity loan where now they're refinancing that existing loan. Now, the reason they're asking this question is under Regulation B, a loan that is not for the purpose of a purchase or refinance. So an equity loan where maybe you own the home free and clear and you're taking cash out to pay for college or to pay for home improvement or debt consolidation. It's not a purchase, it's not a refinance, it's an equity loan. Those types of loans under Regulation B do not require government monitoring information. And in fact, you're not allowed to collect it, or that would be a potential fair lending violation and a violation of Regulation B. So the question here is, what if we're refinancing one of those loans that was not originally purchase money? So it was not originally a purchase or a refinance. So we now have a refinance of a previously equity loan. Do we collect the government monitoring information? The answer to this is found in comment 6 to 1002.13a. Now, to give you a backstory on this, it's my understanding that back in 2003, 2004, in fact, I know this was the case. It was issued in 2003 and it was final in 2004. There were some major revisions to Regulation B and to some of the sections in Regulations B, especially with government monitoring information. Now, it's my understanding that prior to that, and that was just before my banking career got into the point where I would understand and follow rules and regulations, so I didn't pay attention to that back at that time. However, back then, it's my understanding that prior to 2003, 2004, some point prior to that, maybe in the 90s, there was a requirement that clearly said in order to collect GMI for refinancing, it had to be a refinancing of purchase money. So that was my understanding of the rules at some time ago. Unfortunately, I've dug and dug over the years trying to find something that talks about that. I've not been able to see it. I went back to the original 2003, 2004 rule. It was issued in 2003, effective in 2004. Looked through it, didn't see anything that talks about purchase money on this refinance. But it's my understanding a long time ago that was the case. And these rules, of course, have been here in some form or another since the 70s. So it's my understanding that's where it came from. So there's some people who still believe that collecting government monitoring information on a refinance of a loan that was not originally purchase money does not collect GMI. However, let's look at comment 6 to 1002.13a. And it's not comment 2, it's comment 6. I left the error in there just on purpose to keep you on your toes. I'm kidding. I missed it. Anyway, what it says, comment 6 says this. It says, a refinancing occurs when an existing obligation is satisfied and replaced by a new obligation undertaken by the same borrower. Period. It doesn't say anything about purchase money. It just defines a refinancing as one obligation that satisfies and replaces an existing obligation by the same borrower. That's a refinancing. So that's what a refinancing is, and that's what triggers government monitoring information. Now, the comment does go on, so let's just take a look at this and see what it says. I don't think it's relevant, but let's look at it. It says, a creditor that receives an application to refinance an existing extension of credit made by that creditor for the purchase of the applicant's dwelling may request the monitoring information again, but is not required to do so if it was obtained in the earlier transaction. So what they're saying here is if you originally had a purchase and now you're refinancing that purchase money, you don't have to collect government monitoring information again because presumably you already have that on file and you already collected that in the first place. But it clearly says you can collect it again. So what it does not say is you cannot collect it if it was previously purchased money. And what it also doesn't say is you cannot collect it if it was not purchase money, if it was an equity loan. It doesn't say that anywhere. And so this is something that has been a debate in the compliance world. This is really a deep dive topic. It's really getting into the weeds quite a bit. And early on in my career, I would tiptoe the line in talking about GMI, collecting GMI for refinancing, and I would kind of throw in purchase money here and there and see if the audience bit, and usually they didn't. But I would really tiptoe the line. And over the years, I've looked at this question time and time again, trying to find something that talks about the requirement for purchase money to be there in order for you to collect GMI on a refinancing. However, it's not there. The current rules say this. They say that you must collect GMI on a refinancing. And they define a refinancing in Comment 6 to 1002.13a as occurring when an existing obligation is satisfied and replaced by a new obligation undertaken by the same borrower. That's it. That's all it says. I have looked and looked in the preamble and prefatory text and other publications to see if there was anything. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I've come to the terms with if you have a refinancing, which is a loan that satisfies and replaces an existing obligation to the same borrower, you collect government monitoring information. Don't worry whether or not the previous loan had purchase money or not. Don't worry about that, because what the rule says, what the comment 6 to 1002.13a says, is that refinancings require government monitoring information. That's what it says. And also, if you were one of the banks who was trying to or thinking about trying to look for only loans that were for purchase money or not purchase money to determine whether or not you needed GMI, logistically, that was a nightmare. And it is a nightmare, and it's very difficult to manage that. It's much easier to manage a GMI by saying collect it on a refinance, don't collect it on an equity loan. Collect it on a purchase, don't collect it on an equity loan. So I recommend just going with all refinancings. Don't look for purchase money. Now, if you know of something, a publication out there, the original rule, prefatory text, commentary, anything like that that would sway me differently, let me know, because I've looked at this for years. I've not found anything. So my current stance is any refinancing is good to go. To collect government monitoring information. In fact, you should collect it for all refinancings, whether or not it was previously purchased money or not. So again, this is a deep dive. This is a pretty intense topic, but it's something I saw brought up this week, and I wanted to share this with you. If you have any questions on that, you can let me know. But I think I've explained this pretty clearly, and that's it for this compliance clip. Now, if you're new to the compliance cohort, we have a free membership where we have free training videos in our basic membership. It's free training videos just like this, free articles, other resources, discounts, giveaways, all kinds of things that you can sign up for, trying to provide resources for compliance professionals. So take a look at our site at compliancecohort.com. If you're an existing member, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive video. I don't always do deep dives, but it's fun to do it sometimes. Hopefully it's not too controversial. Some of you may be saying, oh crap, we're doing it differently. If that's the case, you can reach out to me if you want. I'd love to discuss this topic, especially if you have some information that would sway me a different way. And if so, I would share that with everybody. But I don't think that information is out there because I've looked for a very long time. Well, thanks so much for watching to the end. I appreciate you. You're the reason we do what we do. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much.